Alright, we're here with Torment, Tides of Numenera. Let's let you guys read this for a second. So I didn't play Wasteland 2, and I haven't finished Torment, or Planescape Torment, but I wanted to just get this out there so that if, mostly if some of my friends wanted to see it. So I haven't played, so it's going to be, let's just look at the options menu really quickly. What have we got? We've got graphics. Can we up this? Let's up this. Apply. Camera. Game. Sound. Conversations. Yeah, okay. Menu. See how it goes. Okay. I have played Numenera before, as a games master, so I am familiar with the world a little bit. But the main reason I wanted to play this game, not just because it should have a great story, is that I really wanted to understand the world a little bit better, so when I ever bring another game, whenever a games master for another system like this, I'll have a, see if you don't want any spoils, stop reading here, okay. I will be male.
Your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you. You force your eyes open.
Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important as if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open.
The body is... wait, you are wearing a form-fitting suit of some dark material. You recall that you were wearing something much more elaborate a short time ago. You have smooth, light brown skin, 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot. Good muscles, strong but not bulky, and slim hips. Your palms are soft, as if they have not done much labor, but scars and burns on the hands and wrists suggest that you haven't always been careful. Why can't you remember this? Without warning, the cocoon that surrounds you shreds and tears away. You are falling. The world is many kilometers below you. You are spinning too rapidly to get a good look. You can see a large landmass, a vast body of water directly below you, and scattered archipelagos, but the detail eludes you. A deep black night is above you, its nocturnal clarity disappearing as the haze of atmosphere envelops you. It's hazy. You were in a tall passageway, its sides slicked with dew, the air warm and moist, as if you were caught in the breath of a giant organism. You remember fleeing in fear and exhilaration, laughing through the terror. What was it that pursued you? Something ancient and cold, its coiling power the promise of oblivion. Its shadowed tendrils struck at you, and the walls where they landed were torn apart utterly, destroyed beyond any hope of repair. You leapt into a membranous cocoon and fell from the station, the moon, and then you were empty. But who were you? What was that creature? A word surfaces in your thoughts, and you seize it before it vanishes. Sorrow. The world fills your sight. You're about to hit.
We're gonna keep pondering.
It hurts your mind to recall, but you push past it, a creature of the forgotten world seeking you out across the centuries. But it's not you it seeks, is it? It sought the man whose memories you shuffle through now, and you realize suddenly that you are not him. You were... Who? Who were you? If you somehow managed to sidestep everything you know about anatomy, physics, and death, and you were surprised to realize that you do know something about them, and you survived this fall, you suspect that you might be able to reawaken a dormant strength you sense inside you. But who could possibly survive a fall from this height? You remember reaching an escape tube, and you remember being struck by a tendril of force, and then the fall. The fall. You open your eyes in time to see a riot of color around you. Your descent barely slowed, and then agony flares throughout your body as a crunching impact destroys you. The last thing you hear is a rapidly cycling whine of energy, and then darkness.
Did we just die? I hope not. Oh. You trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral upward, or up from the bottom of the bowl. The sharp toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move this bowl without slicing your fingers on the edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflected light streaks across the surface of the bowl as another droplet falls into the... Okay, so I should probably explain what I know about this game from what I've played from the actual physical thing. So in Numenera, there is might, there is intellect, and there is one other thing. Is it agility? I can't remember. But I'm assuming there are these pools on the side, and they're basically your health and your mana. And you can... It's interesting that way in that you can... Like, I can carefully move the bowl beneath the liquid, and use might, and it's going to decrease one of these pools. I'm not going to do this because I'm thinking I'm going to make this guy not that kind of a character, but we're going to leave the bowl alone. Can we do anything? Oh wait, what's this? Okay. Okay, maybe you have to do it. So effort 0 means that we don't use any might, or we use a little bit of might, and it's going to yeah, as I said, those bars on the side. We're going to try failure. And so now we've lost 1 damage from the might pool. But it would have cost 2 to try and move it otherwise, so we actually... This is better. We took less damage, because effort expended also does technically damage.
Hello? Oh, skist. You're dead, aren't you? No, that can't be right. If he were dead, I would be too. Can you hear me? I can't hear anything. Are you even there? Well, if you can hear me, it means you're still alive. But you'd already know that, wouldn't you? Look, I'm just going to assume we're both alive and want to stay that way, all right? So here's what you have to do. I can't get to you, so you need to build a way up to me. I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean, this is your mind. It's not like I have a map. Ah, this is your mind. I bet your memories are down there. Find them, and you'll repair the path up to where I am. What was that? I can't tell what's real here. Look, build a path up. Then we can face this mess together, and you won't be alone. I won't be alone.
This is cool. Yeah. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from this waterlogged hell. I want to play as a Jack, I'm assuming that they're still called in this game, which is basically the Jack of all trades. You run urgent fingers over the devices fastened to your waist. A fog rises in your mind. A few can be used against the guards, but will also turn your skin to synth steel or the surrounding water to boiling wax. Hardly ideal. Finally, you find a small silver spear. So the spear in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. Spiraling vortex. Oh god, I killed them. I've made horrible mistakes. Yeah, so I don't know if I like the way I've just done that, but we're gonna stick with it. No going back. I really like the art style in this game. It's really nice looking. Okay, it's speed, might, and intellect. Your major cabins are weaknesses short. Was just had one of the servitors build a shelter for your time as giant. Okay, this is really cool. You're basically building, I think you're building your skills through these choices, and you're also choosing what kind of character you want to play. This choice is going to be between might and intellect, I'm guessing. So I'm not going to be able to get any more speed. Oh, yeah, yeah. Slim sheet of glassy armor holding the hilt with a sizzling invisible blade. Okay, maximize this. To open the door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked open and you hear whining soldiers. So I'm making a little sort of stealthy wizard type character right now, I think. At least that's how it feels to me. Pentagonal tattoo on their head. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs and the choices you made, shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. So you've made, I think what's happening here is you make a whole bunch of choices, and it presents you with 3 different options based on your previous choices. So I think there's actually more choices out there, more different doppelgangers, but depending on what you made your choices in the previous memories, it's going to change which doppelgangers are available for you to point at. As you saw here, I didn't get any doppelgangers that had anything to do with taking things head on, as might would suggest. I was tinkering with my tinkerer, which is like an intellect speed type thing. I was using mystical symbols, which is intellect, and I was using caution, which is speed. So it's the mix of these two that actually made those 3 choices available to me. I'm pretty sure. I've never played this game before, but that would be my guess. And that does suggest there's quite a lot of different ways you can play this game. Numenera is kind of interesting in that it's a fantasy, sci-fi almost. Like the fantasy comes from a scientific background or sci-fi background. It's not actually science. This is like basically the history of Numenera is that the world has gone through 13 ages of like civilization from where we are. So Earth is like nothing like it was once before. And anything, the most you can find is stuff from the past couple of civilizations, which go on like several thousand year cycles. So we're in like the 13th age, I believe. Mystic Laboratory. He has a hazy silhouette of green glass smoke, wearing stylish workout clothes. His jade eyes are fixed on you. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, but to the best of your recollection, you've never seen him before. He claps you warmly on the shoulders. Skist, you made it. Listen, I know you've got a dozen questions, but we're not through the worst yet. If you want to survive, you have to attune yourself. It's a process that, well, it's hard to explain, but I'll walk you through it. Who are you? You need to change things. What are the tides? I don't remember what tides are. Alright, so more decision making. We get to pick what kind of character we're playing. I really like this. This method of choosing who we are. Oh crap, did I only get one? Shit. Alright, I didn't want that. I wanted, crap, what was purple? Oh shit, oh. Okay. What was this doing? I know he said, okay, Spectre. Beat the shit out of this guy. Okay, control panels. Okay, I'm out of, might. Dang it, we've got more of them now? words spoke themselves to the 8 levels of Kra, turning them on each other. Great Kra melted the wax and the wars that followed, but I, imprisoned, could not burn with it, even though the words wished to be spoken. Designate Nebajin, biomechanical organism with a strong affinity for the blue tide. Despite its insatiable curiosity, Nebajin displays an uncanny calm and serenity. It will exchange knowledge for new ciphers or artifacts to examine without any indication of greed or gold. They seem single-minded, but so at peace with their pursuits that failure never angers them. It said Nebajin uses its sturdy claws to pull down the wall, holding the scholar stone by stone. The countless outraged dead of ancient Kra awakened behind the wall, screaming their 8 words that were their downfall. Lastly, the Nebajin seized by the cave collapses, the weakened scholar stumbling toward him with open arms. Warmth spreads through you, aligning tidal channels in your mind. You lean against the tank to catch your breath, eyeing the remaining creature in the tanks. You will need to be swift to avoid the sorrow fragments hunting you. Yeah, I dicked around too much earlier. This is gonna be tough. There we go. Dealt with. Gatekeep these guys back here. Let's do it. Took damage to the intellect. Damn it. So I just took a lot of damage there. Tiny currents coil over the hulking creature in its tank, stirring the brown and silver fur on its muscular forelimbs. Curving tusks curl away from its jaw, and it is these that remind you what these creatures are called. This is a tusked Grothras. Grothras. Though as far as you remember, there is no such thing as a tuskless Grothras. I don't know how you say the Grothras. It's a made-up word. The currents speed up, whirling around the creature. Suddenly you are drawn through the eyes of the whirlpool into the creature's mind. Your host and a rival pack leader tumble down a snowy cliff face, biting and clawing at each other. They strike a ledge of transparent ice and roll apart, growling. Far above their packs hoot in excitement. Cracks spiral out from their paws, both leaders tense. The ground is over a kilometer below, but the first leader to teleport to safety would lose the duel and their pack. Host bares its teeth and ensures their rival's dead. Okay. These guys are creepy looking. I don't like them. getting difficult to box them in. Oh, yeah, okay, oh boy. I made a bad choice. Okay, jeez. Wait, who's the female? Trying to clear some space. This is hard. Like, I gotta get into these last two ones before I die, and I'm pretty much dying right now. Impaired, so interact. A fire right, your memory whispers stand trapped deep in a pool of water motionless. Two gaunt, dehydrated fire whites trudge towards under an ember-flecked sky across the charred plain studded with towering bones and monsters. In the shadow of the mountain's rib cage, the leading white stumbles to its knees, armed tendrils deliriously seeking water in the ash and dust. The other white, your host, is only slightly stronger and wishes to give its power and life to the other so that it can reach the river a kilometer away. There's always a way out. Oh boy. We can do this. We got this. Okay. I don't like that I didn't get to do a move in action. Oh man. Character. I don't want that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Stop that. Let me examine this. Kishamis. Kishamis? Bodies. Shards heartbreak. You sink into the simple, sea-like mind of the Kishamis as it roams the jagged wastes, feeling its raw and aching need to create and recreate. It moves by birthing new legs from the death of old ones. It traces glorious whorls in the glittering sand before erasing them with even more complicated designs. Then chaos. A hunter's ballistic slug smashes through its brain. Thoughts becoming splinters, melting. You feel its dying wish to etch one last design on the sand beneath it. This is so sad. probably gonna survive. Yeah, you guys set me up. Later, nerds. Oh, geez. You gotta make it there. Oh man, I want to allow it to finish its work, because I feel like that means a lot to it, but saving other people is one other thing. No, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling for the first playthrough instead of trying to design a character. I'm not finished. I can make it. Because he's going to Spectral Blast. Right up to the sky. Spectral Blast. These three. Way over there. That guy can still retrieve, but other than that, not much I can do. He's charging up. Okay, that's good. I can run away. Yeah. We're gonna make it out. This was pretty crazy. Blue. Once you had 24 words for all its hues and shades, metaphors to glaives, capes, and courtesans' eyes. Now, the sky is just blue. The ground is stone, the man before you fat. Now all is vague and drab, like the memorialist sees you stopped and he halts as well. Let's have a rest then, he says, passing you a bottle of fortified water as he catches his breath. You knew a word for that too. This drink they brew in the Valley of Dead Heroes. Gone. We aren't far from his cenotaph. The fat man wipes his brow. Deep in your pocket. Your hands feels for the round tin that holds the worms. Your fingers clutch it tight, and as they do, they brush a piece of paper. Are you his shadow? The memorialist asks, abruptly. Second Vander's, I mean, the one you came to see. Without waiting for a response, he barrels onwards. We thought he'd cast his shadows among his own kind. We reasoned that with the Tabat gone, his line was lost forever. He stops and flushes more deeply, then, hastily, with a sign, adds, but shadows fall where they will, as they will. Second Vander's, Tabat, shadows. They flit around the edges of your mind, escaping your grasp, but the worms? They are well within reach. Shall we continue, Pilgrim? The moralist asks. To break the silence, one more short hike will do it. Your body is ready, but your mind is not. The tin is old and unremarkable, scuffed and dented, but sturdy enough. It opens easily. Inside is a clump of bristly worms, blind and thin, barely moving. Your fingers itch and tremble, your nostrils flare. You no longer know their name, but you know exactly how to use them. Careful not to spill the precious contents, you close the tin and slide it back into your pocket. I'm not gonna snort a worm. Send me the paper. You slip the crisp, neatly folded sheet from your pocket and carefully open it. I will want the worms, but I will be strong. I will wonder what I have lost, but they will only rob me further. I will endure, and I will build the tower of my intellect anew. Second Vanders will furnish the material. The mind link, not the worms, will be my tool. The mind link. A dead-eyed trader from Harif sold it for the last of your once great heap of prizes and bounties. Now it's slung from your belt, a hideous mask with a synth tube hanging off it, like some Satoshi's tentacle. Second Vanders. He almost regards you skeptically, as if he expects to be the butt of a joke. He looks in your eyes, however he softens. We live in a world of darkness, Pilgrim, and each of us is just a shadow of one of the great heroes buried here in this valley. But there's a light that shines behind the world. To know it, we shadows must measure ourselves against the heroes who cast us, and thus learn the light that lives beyond. He takes a swig from the canteen. I thought you set out on this pilgrimage to visit the tomb of Second Vanders because you are his shadow, that you wanted to stand before him and find enlightenment. Am I wrong? Are you his shadow or not? I don't know. Morris nods. That's how it is. I've met pilgrims who swore they were lords and ladies of old, but when they reached the grave, wept in shame. But I've also seen a novice stumble across your hero by mere chance. If you find Second Vanders, you will know who you are or are not. He gestures to the hilltop toward which you've been hiking. Just over that rise is the monument. As for his tomb, you said that the cenotaph would lead the way. I can't see how, but for the famous puzzle breaker of Sagas Cliffs, I'm sure it will be simple. Your mind might still be clouded, but at least now the form of things has become clearer. As you follow the memorialist up the crumbling path, he carries on about a time when all the roads in the valley were as well paved as the streets of Sagas Cliffs. Then reaching the hill crest, he falls into reverential silence. When you catch up, you see the sight that awed him. Even for the 1000th time, a clutch of exquisite monuments, ranging from vast to miniature, from aspect to eerily lifelike. The memorialist points to one of them, a many-sided slab of black stone, and gestures for you to follow. This must be the cenotaph of Second Vanders, Teyvat general and would-be conqueror. Up close, the cenotaph is not so remarkable. Its faces are adorned with gruesome stylized reliefs depicting the Teyvat and their Dracolith mounts, trampling the corpses of their foes. Neat geometric glyphs encircle the panels. Like the images themselves, they are embossed rather than engraved. The moralist clears his throat. Of course, Second Vanders isn't here, like the other heroes. His body's in one of the cells in the catacombs beneath us. He nods at the monument. This is its own sort of shadow. All memorials are. As your guide mumbles something about the difference between expression, impression, and reality, your attention returns to the cenotaph itself. What seems at first individual glyphs are far more complex, smaller, excuse me. Sorry, I just had to sneeze. Linked into chains, twinned and twisted into knots, never a tangle or ramble. It's more mathematical or scientific notation than language. Running your fingers across the glyphs, you see they shine briefly under your touch, then fade. Perhaps there is a formula here to be solved, a higher hidden order to be found. Perhaps you could catch glimmers of the Teyvat's military mastery, but the sieve of your mind holds nothing. Any secrets slip right through it. As you struggle to decipher the symbols, the memorialist hurries over. This one means war, he says, illuminating cluster repeatedly, endlessly on the cenotaph. This one, death. He picks out others and shows how the ideogram for soldier weaves into warband, how it can turn mesh into column or army. Excitement grows in his voice as he leads you to another panel and shows you the unique markings that compose the pattern for underspine, a high council, we think, or god. He notes what seems to be a structure to the writing, a pattern within the pattern. Could it be a puzzle to open the way to Second Vanders, he asks, expectantly. You have no answer for his hopes. I like how you can always keep snorting worms. Take another look at the glyphs. I'm gonna try to find the correct sequence. You trick yourself into thinking that you can crack whatever code the stone holds, but neither logic nor luck makes any headway. The glyphs shine, fade, but then nothing happens. Given the endless combinations, not even the persistence you had of old could break this lock. Let's look at the glyphs. War, blood, battle, death. These symbols are graven in your mind just as they are on the cenotaph, but you can squeeze no more meaning from the memory than you can from the stone. Some of the images. No doubt some historian could tell the tale behind each panel, what doomed race the Tibet annihilated here, or what grand battle was waged here, but to you they're just an ugly blur that tugs at shameful memories, without ever quite dragging them to the surface. This is not the knowledge you came for. On one side of the cenotaph there's something else, an obscene picture, crudely etched rather than raised, its edges scorched black, the memorial clears his throat. A graffito from just after the Tibet were beaten, carved with a plasma torch by a bitter nano. He coughs again. The visual pun on Black 3 must be obvious. Sadly, we can't possibly fix the damage. Save the basin. Carved into the cenotaph plinth is a wide, shallow bowl, perfectly smooth, perfectly ovoid. In its center, a small drain that runs into the monument. Around its rim is a geometric pattern, simple and composed of a single recurrent shape. A symbol for blood. Of course, it could be nothing else. Your guide keeps back from the basin as you examine it and shares no thoughts. Beneath your guide's worried gaze, you nick your wrist and drizzle some blood into the bowl. Nothing comes of it. Whatever flows through your veins will not slake the stone's thirst. I don't want to sacrifice the guy. Is my choice snort a worm or sacrifice the guy? Because we're snorting the worm then. We're snorting the worm. Gripping a grub between two fingers, you slip it into your nostril and breathe as deeply as you can. The worm works with you, eager to reach its meal. You feel it squirm the last stretch, and then pain like a knife stabs your brain, and you know the worm is feeding, eating gray matter and pissing neurostimulants, letting your mind reconquer the vast territories it has lost. Nematodes, that's what they're called, not worms, and cerulean, that's the sky color, not blue. The rush of understanding overwhelms you. You read the world's unwritten words, devise stratagems, unravel mysteries. Your brain races with the speed brought on by the worm's piss, and through your thoughts runs the Tibet symbols, spinning, twisting, combining, and dividing. There is meaning here, tangled amid the knotted glyphs, and your mind is unraveling it, surely, but not fast enough. Your thoughts becoming painfully, shamefully slow. The puzzle you felt so close to breaking now seems impregnable. Another worm, just one more in your mind, honed like a sword, will slice through the skeins. You're sure of it, so sure of it. You find yourself sniffing in anticipation, a predator on the scent. Let's try to find it. Alright, snorting the worm. It's so simple now, so obvious. A prayer woven within the story, a prayer of submission to the truth of war, blood, and death. You need but touch the glyphs and the way will open before you. Your fingers race across the glyphs, which now do not fade as you progress. Rather, each touch they grow brighter and brighter. You can hear the excited gasp from your guide as you reach the last of the cenotaph. With a flourish, you press the final symbols. The skein ends in war, of course. Blue light pours forth from the cenotaph, form a kind of shimmering portal. Through it, you see hints of a room. His tomb, whispers the memorialist. A smile sneaks onto your face as you see the way before you. Yeah, let's go right through. You step toward the wavering energy field, stare, blue-tinged tomb of the recipients of sick commanders. I will pray that your hero waits within Pilgrim and that you will find alignment at his side. Tearing along, you plunge forward. Let's open it. It's mind linked with them. Oh. You will not taint my thoughts. The Tibet voices rumbles as his fleet soars towards you. There's no time to try and reason with him if that were even possible. It seems madness that he fears you could pollute his mind. Pilgrim, the word is about. I've seen the secrets you keep from yourself, the endless battle you mean to end, and the wreckage of your solution thou find. I am unmoved, and I killed more, lost more, and fell farther without surrendering the truth. The sphere shimmels and plans in Numenera. You've come because you would prove yourself again, through me, by me, but I am not your underspine. What did you see in me? Fear, vanity, weakness, deceit, there was long silence. It is your duty to know yourself and to be yourself. The thin silver sliver of thought shoots out from his mind and stabs into your own. It is an image, a battlefield strewn with countless corpses and shattered war machines. A real woman stands beside you, rigid with rage. Puzzled by her indeed, she sneers. The image, be it a memory or Tabat, such fades away and sickness of is no more. What is the underspine? The guardian of the Tabat soul. It is, to use the words befoul the meaning of thoughts it is obscene that you would call his tongue truth. Sansa. The underspine is a filter through which our minds flow, cleansing us of distraction, subversion, novelty, and doubt. You cannot comprehend. Study his mind. You see a wide crescent of Uriel reavers ready to sweep down on an outnumbered but unfazed band of Tabat scouts. You know they will fight free because Vanders knew it then, before the battle even began. You see the city of Sagas Cliffs rising above the plains like a beacon, a treasure, a false icon to be smashed. In the depths of the general's mind, jagged, violent thoughts seem to be mustering as if for war. At the moment, they are scattered in some disarray. We're going to keep studying. You see underground, the tunnel's walls, vaulting chambers adorned with carvings of fallen enemies. You see battles, endless battles, the memory sorted with meticulous care, conjoined by formations employed, foes faced, weapons wielded, terrain accommodated. It seems a catalogue without end. In the depths of the general's mind, jagged, violent thoughts. Okay, yeah, study his mind again. More battles, bloodshed, butchery flash before you. Study his mind again. Study his mind. Oh, I can't do that. Oh. Can I just keep pressing one? No, it's stopped. It's not it anymore. 3. Man. In all systems, the variable is subordinate to the constant. The measure of things must be fixed. Lines of thought stab out from the unfolding eidolon, probing your mind like outriders. You do not comprehend. The eidolon rearranges itself into a pyramid. When one stands at the utmost peak of the highest mountain, an advance is no better than a retreat. All change is decline. Again he probes, and again you are found wanting. Do not fall, one must say, there is no more ascent. Here I stay. Many have so spoken, but the Tabat alone spoke truly, resisting the vanity of progress. Given the sudden jagged information in his mind, Vanders seems affronted by your question. At last he sends forth a spear in answer. The conqueror's sword flexes, but always straightens to its proper form. Seer Simmons in turn has gone, all great peoples have found mighty truths, but always they let their truths mingle with falsehood and frivolity until their folk ways became fractious, friable. We alone held to our truth with unflinching conviction. The sphere stretches into a toroid. Words, faith, art, all was held pure and unchanging within the underspine, a perfect, eternal purpose spanning all generations. What can stand before such united trust? Dude, you're dead. As intelligent of his kind's demise, the geometric perfection of his thoughts fractures for a moment, not into chaos or organic shapes, but into sharp shards that they cannot quite reform. Some of these needles jab into your own mind, probing, confirming that you would tell the truth. I see, Vander's answers. Eventually the fragments of his mind reform, though the ranks of his guardians seem thinned. At least they are safe from the corruption of change. To be frozen forever in cold death is a better fate than the seamy, teeming welter of your city. Bright flashes race through the pathways of his mind as he forms and reforms in marriage. At last, yes. The pattern breaks, and its fragments, jagged and disjointed, ricochet across the darkness, crashing into your mind. You feel the terror that has gripped him, the fierce imperative to stand against the outright obliteration of his race to whatever the price. You sense the contempt in which he holds you, mingled with a grudging knowledge that there will come no better chance. And then there is no more you, and no more Vanders, only a madcap image assembled from two puzzles jumbled together. Only that, and the darkness beyond. There is one who slips off the mindless math and staggers out of Tibet's tomb. You are not that one, but you are in it. Not as some fraction or separate self, but as an indivisible part of a plural whole. The newborn one looks with newly opened eyes at the sky and limns with newfound words exquisite in their precision. Blues beyond blue. A kaleidoscope of colors drags you back from the welter of memories. That memory is more powerful than the others, but it has faded. Your personality reasserts itself, and you stand in the strange laboratory once more. The specter beams as you approach.
That was great! Did you see that? Scattered them! The tank? I don't know. All I saw was you put your hand on it and then blast those sorrow fragments to the stars. But it's your mind, right? It was probably some mental connection, like the creatures in those tanks. It was. That's one of the things attuning does. The tides keep you alive. Maybe you can't control them all the time, but they can change things around you. I wouldn't be surprised if it worked that way in the real world, too.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you to do when you have him here.
I'm a part of you, I suppose. I was created when you hit the ground. Woke up before you, too. I remember some of what you've forgotten, just like you know things I never learned. Not that that was the sorrow. Or pieces of it, anyway. You can imagine how I don't remember much. Maybe you know more than me. But the sorrow is what threw you to the ground and nearly killed you. It's still after us. It'll always be. But we got you attuned, right? We can do this too. Together. Just that it's old. Really old. And it doesn't pay much attention to laws. I mean, space-time laws, not human ones. Well, I bet it ignores those too. Schist-sucking creature. Well, it means you're alive, for one thing. So that's a bonus. The tides keep your body together, sucking energy in so you can heal. You can push that energy out, too, like you did with the sorrow fragments just now. There's 5 tides. Your nature, like your choices with the creatures, determines which ones you're most attuned to. Like, you're most attuned to blue, which is about wisdom, logic, and insight. The kind of person who wants understanding and enlightenment. But that's just how you are right now. The tides are always moving, and you can change. I mean, you're going to be who you're going to be, right? First, you need to get back to your body. When you wiped out those sorrow fragments, a tear opened in space just over there. Second, you need to find something called a resonance chamber. I don't know everything about it, but I remember it'll look a lot like the tank you used to attune yourself, a glass sarcophagus. Except in the real world, it's inside a crystal dome somewhere with 5 mechanical arms around it and a metal ring set in the floor. I'm sure you can't miss it. All right, good luck.
Whereas the sky around you is not surrounded by minds, billions of them, each one several orders of magnitude greater than your own. As soon as you are aware of them, they become aware of you. The conversion of your presence, the weight of their immense knowledge starting to crush you. Instinctively, your mind throws up a shield to surround you, an isolated space within the darkness. The minds outside crash against it, trying to break in, but the shield holds strong. Your initial estimate of their numbers was far off yours. There are trillions, maybe quadrillions. You can sense just the fringes of their personalities and memories before driving yourself mad, and what you sense are minds that have existed for eons, from all eras and corners of the universe. They are not malevolent, but they will not snuff you out in their effort to learn what you know and bring you among them, and that's not what they need right now. The mines outside fade away, and you sense the presence of some other objects appearing in space, representations of your will, or perhaps not your will. Like the shield, you aren't so much creating the objects as recalling things that had been created once. This shell, like your own, once belonged to someone else. Two things come sharply to your mind: symbols of will in the form of simple objects, a circular window and a metallic cube. As soon as you touch it, the words and pictures form in the air above it. It's some kind of information cube recording your memories. It's easy to scan through the information it currently holds. It chronicles your fall and your experiences with respect and sorrow. It's kind of like a journal. Convex lens magnifying the outside. The mines are actually shining lattice works of light, and the space between them is not empty as you thought. Gossamer strands connect each mind to every other mind, into your own shielded space. Nothing is truly isolated here, not even you. Open your chest. 3 sets of clothes are fully new inside. A small card sits atop each. On the cards, the words Glaive, Nano, and Jack, respectively. You realize these are potential aspects of yourself, like the doppelgangers in the mirror before. With this chest, you can choose who you are. Jack's clothes are cross-put together to a jack of all trades. These are clothes of someone who uses knowledge of past worlds as power, but is also prepared for physicality. If it should come to that, these clothes are ready for anything. They should be easy to wear. Like shorts. Nano. Let's understand the world, not just the world before. Okay, that's cool. And the glaive is going to be the person who punches things. Put on the Jack's clothes. Prepared for anything, although you don't understand everything completely, you see more clearly the use of the strange things you've come across, and you feel like you'd be more comfortable with a standard weapon on your belt. The clothes fit well, which is good because the other 2 sets are starting to fade away. Leave them on, become the Jack. Kind of like the idea that we've got like a little bit of stabby, magic-y. Alright, yeah, so, we're Jack, and then descriptors are cool things because they, change what you are. So we're cautious Jack right now. I'm cautious. So we get less negative, less might. Stealth, speed, defense, and perception. But if we were mechanical... Mystical, observant... Slick. Oh, you know what? I'm fine with being cautious for now. I like speed defense, so I'm going to take this. And we're going to save it because we've passed the hour mark, so this is a long episode, and all we've done is listen to me talk. But I'll shut up. Okay, I'm starting to remember a little bit. The Iron Wind that she was mentioning before is a giant cloud of nanobots that eats everything. Order of Truth is like the church in this world. Let's go to the Order of Truth. Okay, we're gonna save. Where's the save button? Game options. Save. New save. We're gonna call this New Game 1. Save game. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.